Hi, I'm Veronica Bruckhoff with Perfinium. I'm a business development director and also ag lending. So I've been with Perfinium for 5 years now, coming up in September.
And I'm Dave Thamert. I'm Senior Vice President of Ag Banking. I've been with Perfinium for 2 years.
What personality trait has gotten you in the most trouble?
Ooh.
Probably you're talking.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
I'm sorry. That was her question.
No, it's perfect. So I was just discussing this with the school last week as my daughter's going into kindergarten, and I'm a little nervous that she's going to be getting in trouble for talking. So yes, talking has been an issue of mine since I was little. However, it's also a very positive trait here. So, be nice, you guys.
No, it can be good. It can be good.
All right, Dave, same question for you.
Same question. I guess I probably used to get in trouble most when I was in school for trying to be the funny guy, playing practical jokes, but I guess that's probably part of being one the younger ones in a family of 8. So.
Okay, Veronica, what was your first job?
Well, besides working on the farm here and, dealing with hogs and mowing lawn, I worked at my uncle's gas station. I think that's where I became an expert at talking all the time because I had to greet everybody that came in. So yeah, my uncle owns Mapleton Marine or Maple Mart and Mapleton, and I started there when I was 13 cashiering.
Wow.
Carding kids that were in high school. It was pretty awesome.
Wow. Same question for me?
You got it.
Same as Veronica as far as outside of the farm. I guess that was my first job.
Yep.
But my first job in town, I worked for a local company that makes weightlifting equipment and actually is still in business today and thriving. So.
Is that why you're so buff?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, God.
You're like, I hate you.
All right, so this one's going to be very similar somewhat to when we talked about like the personality traits. So what behavior or personality trait do you most attribute your success to and why?
For me or Veronica?
Whichever one of you's ready.
I guess probably the personality trait that works best for my job is just being kind of calm and collected. Trying to stay balanced because there's times in our job that you get some really exciting news or some really bad news or something that's surprising. And I think just trying to kind of keep a level head, kind of take in all the information, kind of digest it, and then come back with an appropriate response. So,
Yeah. I would have to say my outgoingness and extrovert and working on business development, where I work with new clients, customers, and opportunities, would be my biggest attribute to.
I think the neat thing about our ag team is everybody on our ag team kind of has their different personality, but also different strengths. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we kind of partner up and work together because sometimes Veronica's outgoing personality might kind of get us one opportunity, but someone else on the team might have, an analytical personality or something else that kind of, I guess, compensates. So.
Yep, balance each other out.
Yeah.
Who has influenced you the most when it comes to how you approach your work?
I could go. I don't know that I have one person necessarily that influenced me the most. I grew up in the 80s, so my parents farmed. My mom went from being a stay-at-home mom with my brothers to back to work when I was little to keep the farm going. So both of my parents' work ethic and picking up to keep the farm and everything moving when I was a kid both influenced me to work hard and then reward yourself afterwards.
Yeah. I guess I'd say similar to Veronica, there's not one specific person or like a quote or something. Like a lot of people, they have some special quote that they go back to. But I guess mine would just be my parents. For 2 people to raise 8 kids, run a dairy farm, a couple hundred acres, who always had a hired family that worked with us too. I guess just more led by example. So we're able to kind of keep everything balanced and still...
Yep.
It wasn't all about work. There was still family time. There's still kind of church time. There's still community volunteering. So I look back at how well balanced they're able to do things and try to incorporate some of that into my life.
Yeah, same for me. We active in church and active in the community. My mom was the adult, leader for our 4-H, and they were help with FFA, and they were on the Chamber of Commerce and everything else, and they drug us to it, which probably leads to why I volunteer now and I'm on too many boards.
Yeah. I think it aligns well with Perfinium's kind of approach is that it's not one-dimensional, that we have to be the biggest bank or the most profitable or that there's any specific things, but it's really well balanced when you look at our mission and our values. Mm-hmm. just to be invested in your community. I think that they understand it takes people that are well balanced with work and family life, so it works really well.
Yeah, and it's rewarding.
So, all right, what energizes you at work?
What I'd say energizes me most at work is kind of running into, you probably had this happen a lot of times, when you run into a situation and somebody's got a issue or they have a problem that they're trying to solve, and the answer that they're looking for isn't something that comes naturally, and you and I can look at it. So if it's a financing thing, we can look at it and say, well, what kind of walk them through one idea, and it's rewarding sometimes when you have somebody that they're at a impasse, and maybe some of our experiences help them kind of get to that final solution. So
Yeah, and I'd say on top of that, working with legacy farms. So bringing the next generation in,
Yep.
and I can help with FSA or RFA or Farmer Mac or something that helps that next generation get the foot in the door to continue that legacy for that farm. So that energizes me, especially when we can actually make it happen. You know,
Yeah.
I like the process and everything, but it doesn't always work out. But, we know that going into it, and we can work with them through all the steps and see what the best option is for that farm.
Mm-hmm.
What work-related accomplishment are you most proud of?
I get to work with David every day.
I don't know if that would be an accomplishment.
I don't know either. I just didn't have anything else, so I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I guess I would say kind of similar to what Veronica was saying. When you have somebody that comes in, and whether it's a farm transition plan, somebody that's looking to maybe acquire or grow their farming operation, and they're just kind of at an impasse to how to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think collectively between the 6 or 7 of us that are on the ag team, we've seen hundreds and hundreds of these situations. So you're able to kind of bring some of that in, and I think the transition's been a big one, is the farm transition.
Yeah, and seeing Grandpa's smiling face when you're working on signing the loans he comes with or something, and that everything he worked for continues on. I think that's what I love about it.
What led you to this career?
So what led me to this career, I was born and raised on a farm. I went to school for finance and worked outside of the ag business and investments for a little bit. And when it came time to start a family, we knew that we wanted to come back to southern Minnesota. And so I guess when I think about southern Minnesota and finance, it kind of comes together with ag banking. So it wasn't what I kind of intended to do, but it's worked out really well for a long time.
Yeah, I'm right with you. This is not in what I intended to do at all. I went to South Dakota State for agribusiness and ag marketing, and intended always to come back to this area where my family is and raise a family here myself, which I did. However, I worked for Minnesota Soybean Growers in Council for 9 years and traveled a lot and had, at the time, 2 small children. So it was kind of taking a look going, do I want to be gone 8 days in a row at Commodity Classic, or do
Yeah.
I want to be home every night? So I made that decision, and Perfinium talked to me about becoming a lender because of my background, my experience, and everything like that, and my finance degree. So I didn't use it for the first how many years of my career, but now I've been using it the last 5, and it's been fun.
Why did you choose Perfinium?
I chose Perfinium, or they chose me, maybe even it's a mutual thing, because of their cores and values and the community involvement and working with farmers and trying to, grow the business in southern Minnesota between, our locations in Fairmont and Owatonna, and I'm right here in the middle in Buford. It was a good fit, and I had a lot of networking and connections through my past career, and it seemed to be a really good fit for my family and my work.
Yeah, I think I chose Perfinium because it's a family-owned bank that is owned by a family that continues to farm and really has those values through and through. So if you've ever been in a situation that you just go, this doesn't make sense why we need to do this, or there's obstacles that really don't make sense, Perfinium's really been good about approachable as far as whether it's ownership, management, backroom staff, administrative support. It's a really sensible company to work for. We can get things done pretty quick. We have pretty good discretion for using our own authority, and so it's just, I think you can make something that doesn't have to be that hard pretty simple, and we can usually make this fairly simple. So
It's more like a team sport than an individual sport. We work together really well and tag team, and
yeah, it's a good family atmosphere too in the
Yep.
company. So
Yeah, my kids come to work every once in a while and surprise a customer at, their business, and
yeah.
it's a lot of fun.
Okay, any last comments that you would want to make before we wrap it up?
At Perfinium, on the ag team, we do anything from operating loans, real estate, equipment, construction. One size kind of fits all, and we have the Be Mighty structure, so we have, trusts and insurance and investments and things like that every other bank doesn't have. The community bank aspect of kind of one-stop shop.
Yeah, I think when it comes to banking, when I look at your products and services lineup, they really are pretty similar from bank to bank, and I think it comes down to the difference in the people. First of all, I'd say our products and services are really, really competitive. We have some of the latest in technology, things that matter to people now versus maybe 20 years ago. Our online or mobile technology is right there on point with our competitors and even the large banks. But yet we're a smaller atmosphere when it comes to a flatter company, so we can make decisions a little quicker. We get back to people, and I think the other thing is we try to work on your terms. Mm-hmm. So I have a number of customers that they prefer to kind of communicate or work through text or email. Some people like to come in or have us go out to the farm. So I would say what kind of sets us apart sometimes from our competition is we like to kind of work on the terms of what our customers work on. So
Yeah, I have an office, but I rarely use my office.
Yeah.
I'm usually out of my Suburban, big old red Suburban, driving down the road, stopping at my farms. That's what I do.
Veronica's on her way.
Yep, here she comes.
Okay, one last question then. If anybody's looking at Perfinium for a career, what would you advise or recommend for them? What would you tell them?
I'd say, I guess if somebody was looking at a career at Perfinium, I'd say pull any of us aside and we'll just go grab lunch, just have a candid conversation, I guess, like this is. Believe it or not, we didn't have a whole lot of privy to these questions. So, but I think it's just one of those things that have a conversation, make sure it's for you. We want to make sure it's the right fit. I think whether it's a team member or a customer, we want to make sure that's the right fit. Sometimes it's not, but I think most of the time we can make it a great fit.
Yeah, definitely give us a call or shoot us an email. More than happy to take some time out of our day to meet with you and see if it is a right fit. Because there's nothing worse than having a job or a career that you dread going to every day. You got to have some fun.
Right. And the company is growing. I mean, we're growing in locations and size, relationships. So we're very interested in growing. Kind of in a time where some companies are looking at where to cut back, cut expenses, even get out of agriculture. We're very much getting more and more into agriculture, and it's a big part of our business. So we're very important.
Bring it on. We're
Yeah.
ready.